May is an important month for the channel. My wife's birthday is in May, and so there'll be more lovey, girly, probably content reviewed as a because that's how I spend my time watching things that are possibly rom-coms or female interest in creation. But this movie was not just picked because of the love story. It also was released in 2024, so current critique. But the trailer for The Greatest Hits was so well constructed that I was like, man, I love me some time travel. And more importantly, I can't recall of intentionally watching anything with the soon to be Superman, David Cornsweet. So it was a win win. Love time travel, you know, love stories. And it gave me an opportunity to see David Cornsweet act. And after watching the movie and seeing his performance as Max, I I do believe that he should or could, will possibly be an enjoyable Superman, Clark Kent, Kal-El, whatever you want to call it. Because Max, the character, was he was a high spot. He was a top performer. But after that open rolls, I'll break it down. I'll talk about the greatest hits. Whether it's your first time here or you're a regular here at Mr. Super Oz, I just want to thank you for tuning in to the channel. It exists because I, Oz, from the channel Mr. Super Oz, I wrote a 68-page graphic novel called Everlasting Survivors. Volume 1 is called All Day Long. If you follow the link in the description of this video, you can get yourself hats, shirts, posters, all kinds of fun things. But most importantly, you can get the story itself. And the more people that pick up the story, the greater the chances are that there can be continued adventures with these heroes. If you could, give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, leave a comment, enjoy. I love time travel, so please deliver. We meet this young couple in flashbacks. The opening of the movie is powerful stuff, showing the couple just falling in love. The woman, she pours a drink, and they play records together. It's just everything. While she's playing the records, we see that she keeps separating them from tested and untested, and that's when it realized. And I think it helps because I already watched the trailer, but it shows that she knows what records will take her to the past and which ones she doesn't know that will take her to the past. But it's visually stunning. Like the speakers are thumping, and time begins to change. It's just represented very well. Harriet, the star, she's trying to save Max again, but she fails. What strength it must take to have to relive this over and over again. Just such painful stuff. In the present, Harriet is protecting herself from mistakenly hearing music by wearing headphones everywhere she goes. And she's even stripped her car from the radio and the speakers out of it. Next in the movie, we head to a support group. In it, they say, loss might be forever, but grief is only temporary. Max has been gone for 2 years, according to the lady who's leading the support group, or the grief meeting. I'm not sure what you call it. The AA of sadness. And she thinks that Harriet is hiding because she doesn't. I guess another a thing about this movie is people think that Harriet has seizures due to a car accident, when in reality she has the ability to move her consciousness from the present to the past. And by ability, I mean that's what the greatest hits do. The songs take her back to the time when she was with Max, and so people think she's scared of seizures when in reality she's just trying to stay tethered to the right time. I mean, or go back in time, but under her own choice or power or comfort zone even. And because whenever she does go to the past, because next scene she goes back to Halloween of 2018, and whenever she goes to the past, she does it in the most organized and comfortable way, because it's at home, and her record player, she's in a comfortable place, and it's a way to ensure she doesn't get hurt, because, or attempt to ensure, because later on in the film she does get hurt by falling at a unexpected time when she is vulnerable by not having her headphones on. And Harriet plays the song that was on when she first met Max, and we get to see their first time together. Max says to Harriet, "You're very sure of yourself. How does this all end up?" And she says, "Tragically." And originally, at the first time she meets him, she says, "I just met the man who's going to change my life." And then later on in the film, she changed it to, "I just let the love of my life walk out or get away," I think. And so the setup pieces, all of the parts where you understand why that Harriet wants to go back to save Max, are great. And even when she tries to stop the car accident that takes his life, that stuff is powerful, but it only goes so far. When back in the present, Harriet meets a new guy at the grief support group named David, who lost both of his parents, and he asks her out to coffee or a sort of date, but Harriet feels as though she's cheating on Max, even though he's been dead for 2 years, because she keeps spending time with him while he's alive. And it's crazy because while David does seem like a good guy, I have gotten so invested in Max while in the past that I really don't care about David for like 20 minutes. Like, no matter what he does, how good he is. Like, his sister, David's sister, is more comfortable with their parents' death and ready to sell all of what's tethering them to the place where they're stuck, their old antique shop, more than David is. David's trying to make a go of it, but yeah, it's eventually David does get me on his side. He begins to grow on me the more he is, a stand-up guy. But the craziest part is eventually Harriet decides she wants to somebody to believe her. Her best friend doesn't believe her. David doesn't believe her, so she realizes that she has the capability of proving to David that she can go back in time. And his response is one of the best responses. So first, when he finds out, he pushed her away. Later, they get back together. or give it another go because he's like, oh, she's nuts, but I like it. He didn't say that, but and then when finally she proves to him by leaving him a note in the past in a place where he instructs her to, David asks Harriet to take him back with her, but because she doesn't know how, it it is among the most painful parts of the movie because of the fact that Harriet is incapable of helping this person move on. Although I guess in some ways she's unable to help herself move on either. Finally, in a a surprise, an advertisement, a jingle on the TV pulls Harriet back to a time with Max, and I think that she's finally figured out that the only way to save Max is to not have the relationship at all. And I don't know, it just I'll say this, they do have a good goodbye. Some heavy stuff where David is trying to heal from the loss of his parents, and he says, "I hope some part of me remembers uh, you." And then Harriet says, "I'll look for you," and he says, "I'll look for you too." And then when Harriet goes back in time to where she first met Max, how does it all end? Tragically, which is a true thing to say. And then she says, "I'm letting the love of my life walk away." So with that, it had very interesting elements. So it hit me that the thing this movie lacked, the thing that it needed more of, was an impact. So Harriet ran into Max in this new timeline with a new love. And she re-meets David at a concert. But the thing that I would have felt strongly towards the movie for doing was demonstrating. So, throughout the movie, and in lots of cases, people believe things will be better. However, and this is maybe because I love the movie The Butterfly Effect a lot, but they don't seem to ever acknowledge the concept that things do or can get worse. See that, and that's one thing that Back to the Future nails. Back to the Future is like, oh, you're fading from the timeline because of this interaction with your parents. Oh, Biff got the book, went back and gave it to young Biff. Now he's rich and your mom's with him. The movie, the Greatest Hits, suffered, in my opinion, due to being unwilling to make things worse. So when Harriet breaks things off with Max, or never lets them begin, and then she sees him later with a new love, and then she sees David at a concert, it implies they might get back together. But what the movie does is it completely skates past any and all other possibilities. Because Harriet doesn't go to the beach with David the day that they went together in the original timeline, does she get struck by lightning? Because she doesn't go with him to look for furniture because they're moving in together, does she get mauled by a dog? Like, why is it that the only consequence of not being with Max, David Cornsweet's character, is you stay in the music industry, you don't wear headphones, and you're kind of melancholy? And so for that, I only gave the movie a 3 out of 5. I think it's fine, but it doesn't take risks. it doesn't explore possibilities. It had a great concept and just didn't have follow through. And so that's kind of my thing. Like, I almost feel like the trailer is more moving than the movie. Now, it's not entirely accurate. There are elements within the movie that are on par with the trailer, but it's just due to the lack of extra emphasis on different possibilities. And so, thanks for tuning in. Come back all week. Enjoy.